Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to get your questions answered by Wood Mizer. So, without further ado, let's get going. They've got stickers right here.
Cut.
Remember to steal one of those before we leave. We need one on the back of the camper. The first question I get answered for you folks is how to fold up a band. Lots of people wanted to know how to do it, so I'm going to get the pros to show you. People have asked how to properly fold a band. And I don't do it. I do flat boxes. I like the flat back. This is what I do. Can you show how to do?
Yeah, I can show. Grab a pair of gloves real quick in a band.
And I love the fact that you just said grab a pair of gloves. Do not do this without gloves.
No.
Or as Magic Man on Forestry Forum will tell you, don't do it in shorts either. Come on.
Yeah, there's some proof to that. I got bit a couple times this week. So, basically you want your teeth out.
Right.
So grab it about shoulder width apart. And if you have a belly, it'll help. You can catch your belt buckle. Yeah, you can catch your belt buckle, and then you're just kind of using the natural force. And so it wants to go into the circle, no problem.
Right.
It's just a matter of finding the potential energy right about here. And it's the same thing to do with the other way. You just kind of want to find where it's at, and once you have it there, you have control, and so you let it go, and
So
it comes up.
A lot of guys actually say they throw them on the ground.
Yeah, that's a good way to dull your blade pretty quickly.
So, did you hear that? Don't throw them on the ground. It's going to dull your band.
You got about a 64th of an inch of sharpness actually cutting.
Couldn't you throw the set off too, maybe?
It's potential. I mean, it's definitely
a
not
rock
good for
or
it.
something?
I'll do it if I'm going to sharpen them because I'm going to reset them. So if I get a customer that sends them all in like banded like this, but not individually banded, they'll get all like a globe.
So you just
So
throw them
sometimes
out.
gotta.
Maybe I'm just a dumb jarhead, but I was shown how to do it, and I still don't do it this way.
The trick is once you feel it flex and dip down, you want to turn your thumbs in and bring your hands like in a circle.
I don't have thumbs. My thumb knuckles are gone. So you went like this.
Yeah. And then once it.
And then what do? You twist it?
Basically, you'll want to turn your hands in and your thumbs at the same time. And that's the.
I don't have thumbs to turn in.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to do for you then.
Well, he was letting, wait.
First, you want to let it
flip
flip down first.
You missed the
Oh, I
bounce.
missed the bounce.
Yeah.
You want to rewind and watch what he did?
Now it's backwards.
Now you got to
This
upside
way?
down.
The whole blade's inside out now.
He doesn't follow directions very well.
Now what?
No, it's fine. It'll still work. It's just don't put it on your mill like that or you're going to be ripping the tips off.
I use flat boxes. So,
Here, let me grab another pair of gloves and another band. We can do it side by side. The safest way to turn them from inside out is again with the blades out. Put your foot on it, reach in, and then turn out.
like this?
Yep.
And then let go.
Flick it out in front of you.
It's probably because my thumbs are so beat up.
It seems like a real disadvantage, I'll be honest.
There you go.
So,
Is that right now?
yeah. So yeah, you're good. You hold it like this and your teeth are pointed that way, you're good.
Okay.
So you want to kind of grab it just like this, and then you want to use your hands as the fulcrum to get it to bend like that, right? And so once it bends, then you just bring your hands over. You got it pretty close. It's just finding there it is, see? Now grab it with one hand, and then grab the other, scoop it up, close it right there, see?
So now how do you get it up?
So you'll kind of want to shake it to get it kind of 3 even circles like that.
Okay.
And then what you want to do,
Are you watching this?
you want to open it up so you can find the cross, right? So wherever it overlaps,
Right.
it's usually easier to grab with your right hand.
My right hand.
Yeah, and then kind of pull it apart a little bit, and then push that one there.
What do you do?
I think you want to go the other way. You want to push this around this way, and then when you grab this,
I like that.
We'll keep
But
you flat pack.
what is the advantage or disadvantage between the two?
Some guys don't like putting them back in the butterfly. Some guys prefer to do it this way. The biggest deal really is for if they're in the flat packs, you gotta open the flat pack and pull the blade out and do that whole deal.
Yeah.
If you got 10 of these in a box, you just grab the next one off and go about your business. You don't have to deal with the whole box and move it around. But it depends on what your setup is. A lot of guys just take them straight out of the flat pack, hang them on the wall, and then that's how they get to them. You know,
I wondered from a perspective of packing it. So I'm 100% remote, which means I have to pack everything I'm going to bring in the best manner I can. So when I look at these, I think, well, I'd have to have a box, a cube, that's fit. And if I want to bring 45 bands on the road with me,
yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where.
Seems like a lot of boxes are going to be taking up room. Whereas these, they're so small. Like I can slide these into the back seat of my truck, and I still got plenty of room to pack stuff around.
Yeah.
So I like those for that.
This box has 15 in it, and that box has
Whoa,
15.
nah, see, so from a remote destroyer standpoint,
Yeah,
there's your difference right there.
exactly. So,
I can slide that
you
behind
get a
the
lot
seat.
more of them in the bed of your pickup for sure.
I can take 45 bands in the back seat.
Yeah.
I put them behind in my back seat. So folks, yes, you can use the cubes, but you know what? If you're like me and you're 100% remote on the old Jarhead Sawdust Roadshow, you need these. It's the only way you're going to pack that many bands with you at one time.
And if you ship, they make the trip a little bit cleaner. Those boxes get pretty beat up. Like this customer in particular, I always super duper take this box stuff when they go out because they come back like that no matter what I do.
I have one more resharp question for you. It's not a resharp question, but if someone breaks a band, is there any point in sending it back again?
For me to scrap it, if you're on an auto replace program and you want that blade replaced, I'm not going to know you want it replaced if I don't see it.
You can kind of walk me through what happens when somebody's bands come in, you get a box of bands.
Basically, the first thing I do when they get here is I find the customer number, name, I write the date on it, and I put it on that wall until it comes to the top of my list. I write it down here, put the boxes over there, put that on the computer, it prints me out another master sheet of what's been received, and then I just go, you know, as they receive, they go up on the racks. And at that point, I look at them, I check them, do kind of a cursory examination for damage, identify hook angles, length, width, height. The height doesn't really have much to do with a lot of things, but the thickness will affect the set. At this point, I can tell the difference between a 9 and a 4 and a 10, and I can just, they're miles
I can
apart.
usually tell myself because I have I got them all. That's
Yeah.
why.
There's no blade that's supposed to, other than like the carbides that are more than 2 hours. Just because it will cut longer doesn't mean you should be cutting longer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
if you
the first
round
time-
over the outside of the tip,
Okay, hold on. Say that again.
just because you can run it longer doesn't mean
No,
you
like
should.
you said, they're
But you
really
got about 2 to 3 hours, and you should be swapping it out.
So that's interesting because I tend to swap my bands out about every 2 hours.
What you want is you want the blade edge to wear evenly. If
Right.
it starts rounding over like a ballpoint pen on the outside set
Right.
tip, you know, that's that much material I got to take out of your good metal to get down to that spot.
Right.
So that's 3 or 4 sharpenings through my machines that kind of translates into 1 or 2 lost for you. You know, if I got to hit a blade 4 times, that's 2 sharpenings.
Don't do this type of stuff.
Right. Right.
You probably have done more than I have.
No.
You haven't been interviewed or something locally? Or?
No, not
Really?
really, no.
Really? Wow. And you are the only Wood Mizer shop outside of California on the West Coast, right?
Yeah. Well, we got Montana.
There's one in Montana.
There's an ASC in Montana. California's an ASC.
ASC is
Authorized Sell Center.
okay. Is it a franchise kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah, they have their own business. They're authorized to sell.
Okay,
Wood
so
Mizer.
but you're not. You're a Wood Mizer shop.
We're Wood Mizer. Yeah,
Right.
Wood Mizer branch. Yes.
So you're the only Wood Mizer branch on the West Coast, technically.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Correct.
Now, but they do service and
They-
everything else.
they
They do everything you do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just not Wood Mizer. So
Right.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Interesting. Very interesting. See, we bought that first mill from you. You've been here a while.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been here 24 years.
24 years. Wow. Now, have you been Did you do other jobs, or have you been a salesman? Did you run the shop? Or?
I was just a service tech for up until 2010, and then I've been manager since then.
One question that just came to mind is, when did they stop making the LT10?
I want to say probably around 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
And they replaced it with the LX25?
The LX25 and 55, yes.
Is there any particular reason they decided to do that, or that you can share? I mean, I'm curious. I'm just curious.
I really don't know the reason. The reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
something. Okay, so folks, I'm not sponsored by Wood Mizer, so just so you know, I'm just doing this because I just happen to love my Wood Mizer sawmill. So anyway, what I did is I reached out to folks on the Forestry Forum, on Facebook and MeWe and different platforms, and I said, folks, I'm going to go and I'm going to visit with Wood Mizer and I'm going to ask them some questions. So let's see if we can get some of these answered for you. I got several questions that viewers actually asked me to ask you. So this one is an interesting one. I will tell you that some of these answers can also be found already on Forestry Forum. So if you're not a member of Forestry Forum, I'm not affiliated with Forestry Forum at all, but I've been there a long time. A bunch of great guys are there. You can get some of these answers there too, just to let you know. So the first question that was asked was, in the Pro Sawyers list, where you can go search for a sawyer, is there a way to narrow the search down?
Not online right now. You can call here or call one of our locations and they can do radius search.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so folks, if you get on the Pro Sawyer website and you can't narrow the search down, call your local Wood Mizer shop. Fair enough. Is there anywhere that somebody can go to look up the type of band, the best type of band to use for their engine, mill, whatever, and what type of wood they're milling?
There's nothing on the website. I mean, it kind of gives you some descriptions of what blades, it's a hardwood blade or a softwood blade. It depends on where you're at. I mean, too, your location, what you're cutting, different types of wood. I mean, you can cut, fir in Montana, but it's not going to be the same as the fir here.
Right.
So, I know we have a booklet that kind of breaks down the different blades and what they're best for. A lot of it's just talking to people, and we try to steer people in the right direction on what blade they should be using, depending on what kind of wood they are and or what kind of trees they were cutting and where they're located. You
have a very interesting point, which is different locations. A southern yellow pine ain't like a ponderosa. They're different.
Right.
So that's a very good point, that some hardwoods are really soft.
Yeah.
Some softwoods ain't.
Right.
If you're trying to cut a tamarack that's been on the ground a while, let me tell you, that's a hard chunk of wood. So, all right, that's a good point. This one here, I have to admit, this one, I sort of cringed a little when I saw it, but I'm going to ask it because it was asked of me. Can we expect the same quality from the new mill I ordered versus my old 1999 LT30 HD?
Yeah. Yes.
I would expect that to be the answer, though, right? I mean, when I saw that question, I thought, well, I should hope so.
Right.
Otherwise, what are you doing? I mean, of course, it's Wood Mizer. I will tell you that I was looking at a mill, and it looked to me like someone welded the outrigger caps in place, right? Instead of plastic caps or welding, they said, no, the new mills are like that.
Yes.
I thought, wow, can I get mine done that way? So I think the point is, on quality, that's better than my 2016. I'm telling you, I looked at that and I thought, wait, I want those. I'd like to know if they ever tried or plan to try to adapt an MP100 to an LT40.
No.
Now, what is the MP100?
MP100 is a planer. I mean, the cost to try to do that wouldn't make sense.
Now, isn't it designed for a twin rail?
It's designed to put on LT15
twin rail
bed, so
yeah.
if you buy, if you want one, buy the LT15 bed section and just run it on there.
Oh, I see. So you really just need the bed section.
Yeah, you just need the bed section.
Gotcha.
That's all you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can put the lap sider.
Yes.
The
resaw attachment.
The resaw attachment and the lathe miser.
Yes.
Do they still make that?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can put all those on an LT40. All right, here's a fun one. Why are the European mills different, and are they more advanced than U.S. mills?
I wouldn't say they're more advanced. Majority of European mills they're electric.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They have different regulations. We have different regulations here, DOT regulations, if you're gonna tow it down the highway, safety, OSHA stuff, so it's,
Different countries, different rules.
Different rules, they drive on the opposite side of the road,
So it's not that Wood Miser's targeting things differently there, it's just that there's just different rules they have to play by.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Are the European mills made in Europe?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. There you go. All right. If seeing wavy cuts, what are the main items to check to ensure cutting straight again?
Number one is your drive belt tension, because if the drive belt's loose, you're not going to get the RPMs you need and you're going to cut wavy. That's the number one cause of wavy cuts, is drive belt. Usually on a new mill, right around, around 18 hours you should tighten that drive belt. Some of them are sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And then every 50 hours check it for tension. Because if it's loose, it's going to cause issues. Other things, the blade, having the right blade. Make sure you have sharp blades. Changing your blade when you should, which is 2 hours of actual cutting time.
That's the second time I've heard that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
2 hours.
2 hours of actual cutting time. You should change the blade. You're going to get more sharpenings out of it that way. They start getting dull. They start to heat up. They get too hot. Then it's gonna.
Would you say that's irregardless of how many board feet you cut?
Either regardless, yeah. Change that
2
blade.
hours, because it's just spinning through the wood for 2 hours, regardless of speed, time, distance.
Right. If you're cutting real slow, your blade's gonna cut. You're gonna dull faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're running into big knots, you got to cut
You
slow.
gotta cut slower.
Okay.
That, and make sure you have the right blade for what you're cutting. And I know dug fir out here can be difficult. It's
Well, the east side of the mountains dug for no problem at all.
right. It just depends on
Right.
where they came from, but
Right. Do you recommend using non-ethanol fuels, or is regular gas just fine?
we use regular gas all the time. I haven't had any issues. Is ethanol or non-ethanol gas better for your small engine? Probably.
There's a big debate out there.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've been using regular unleaded gas in my mill since I bought it new.
Right.
Runs like top, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Wood Mizer uses press-in grease fittings all over the mill. Will you be changing to screw-in types on newer mills, and if not, what is the best way to replace plugged fittings?
Well, I don't know if they'll be changing to screw-in ones or not. That's something to have to ask engineering, but usually the guys out here, if they replacing them, they just pull them out and
Just with a set of vice grips or
yeah,
something?
for vice grips.
Okay. Can you convert a walk beside mill to a command control or remote control?
No, it'd be the cost would be to do. I mean, of course, people do what they want to do. People, but Wood Mizer doesn't make a kit or anything to convert it over.
Interesting. So, is there that much difference?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it
Really?
to add that you'd have to do, and
So would you remove the old, you'd have to remove the old simple set and all that controls and move it all? Is
right,
that what you do?
all it's in the command control and the wiring and
So you're better off selling your older mill,
Right.
which today would be at a premium. But then, of course,
Yeah. Right.
you gotta wait a while to get a new one. So, okay. I mean, that's fair, though.
Yeah.
Can I convert two inner side supports to hydraulic without replacing them? If so, what is needed and is it available?
You can't. You'd have to. I mean, we make a kit to make the mill ones hydraulic, but you're going to get the side supports too.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
even though you've got the manual side
the
supports.
new ones are going to be different. They're going to have a place where the rod can connect.
Okay, so you don't just get a rod, attach it to them, and away you
No,
go.
no.
Okay, all right. And I will tell you, folks, I've actually seen someone do that on Forest Reform. Magic Man did it. Let's see. Why did Wood Mizer decide to put movable bunks on the... This is a good one. Why did Wood Mizer decide to put movable bunks on the LT35 and LT40, and what was the purpose?
If you look at the design of the mill, they're made to where you can get in and pull your boards real easy. So the frame is kind of angled
On an
in.
angle, right.
So they put those swing out so that you can swing them out for your longer logs.
So it was really just
Yeah.
a matter of function. Hey,
Right.
let's make these bunks swing outs,
Right.
so that you can get them out of the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which, yeah. Now, one of the things I've noticed, and I'm always telling folks, I'm telling you guys, if you have the swing out bunks, get them out of the way before loading a log on the mill. Don't load your logs on the mill with those swing out bunks on, because they can damage the bed of your mill. So don't do it. Would you agree?
Yeah, you want to move them where,
Move them out of the
and
way.
then you can adjust them to where your longer logs, you got, something
Sure.
underneath
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah. People see me do it all the time. I'm
Right.
swing them out of the way, load the logs, swing
Right.
them back.
Yeah.
If they're big logs.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Last couple to go. What does the LT stand for in LT40?
Laskowski to Colby. Those were the founders of Wood Mizer.
Oh. That was easy.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the 40?
Was it the LT40? Well, that's a series.
So, but wasn't the 40 the first mill they
Yes.
made?
The LT40, LT30 is a series. It's a shorter version of the LT40.
Okay, but was the first mill they made, wasn't it an LT40?
Yes.
Okay, so the 40 wasn't, there was no particular reason they said 40, they just picked 40 and went with it?
Yes. I mean, I'm not.
No.
I don't know the reason why they picked 40.
Because it ain't length and it ain't horsepower.
It ain't horsepower.
Yeah, no, because I think the first LT40s or the earliest were like 19 horse motors or something.
Right.
They're
Right.
pretty-
Yeah.
pretty-
18. Like, yeah.
All right, well that's all I had. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You got any questions for me?
I don't. I think
Why the hell are you doing this, Eric? Well, I appreciate your time. I really do. It's kind of fun, I mean, Darcy brought her infamous brownies.
I had one.
Oh, you did? You had one?
Yes, very good.
She's the queen of brownies, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they were good.
You know what, folks? That's what keeps me going. No, seriously, no. They are the best brownies in the world, I'm telling you. So just know that Wood Mizer and the folks that are here today, they're lucky, because not very many people get her brownies anymore. All right, folks, if you got any other questions, you can get them answered on the Wood Mizer website or call your local Wood Mizer shop. You can also get answers on Forestry Forum. It's a great website. You should check it out. And a couple more things here before I go, but thanks for watching anyway, and have a great weekend, folks. I'll see you in the next one. One more thing for you.
Okay.
You get one of those.
All right. That's cool. Awesome. Love it.
Figured you might like that.
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot. Bulldog on there.
Just that one's old.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Thanks
thank
again,
you.
Brett. Have a
You
good
guys
day.
drive
Oh
safe.
yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
You too. Don't work too hard.